Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I love that intro. Well, how you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing very well. Today's topic that my co-host and our special guest will be talking about, we will be talking about games. As you know that we're trying to figure out how can we help our young people um, stay out of prison and defer them from gangs, But let me read you a little something. I don't know why every time I come on here, I have a little anxiety attack. But you know what? We're going to pray over that because God didn't give me the mind of fear. He didn't give me that, and I'm finna to push through this, and we finna to make it do what it do. So I googled um gangs in America in the United States, and this is what the statistics said today, and it's coming from the FBI. The FBI estimate that there are over 33,000 violent gang members, motorcycle gangs, and prison gangs in the United States. The Department of Justice estimate that there are at least 21,500 gangs and more than 731,000 active gang members in the United States. Hmm. Before we go any further, I'm going to bring up my co-host Cornel. Cornel, how are you doing on this evening?
It's Casey now.
Oh, KC, he done passed the mic already over. Well, KC, how are you
Yeah,
doing
he passed
today?
tonight. I'm doing good, Miss Shanette. How you doing?
I
One thing
am.
I want to tell you is self-control is one of the things that the Bible talks about, and it deals with how to deal with your anxiety. So it also is a fear, but we know that we are not equipped to have fear because we have Jesus in our life, who gives us the authority to put fear in the back of us. So I'm praying that God continue to give you the strength to overcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know,
You're welcome.
it's just like every time I come on here, I just get this feeling in my stomach, and I just basically with me, I just basically want my voice to be heard because this is a subject talking being a voice for the voiceless, for the men and the women that's currently in prison on wrongful conviction is a very tough subject, and I really want to make sure that my voice is heard because I'm very compassionate about this. I just truly believe that should no person be in prison wrongfully for something that they didn't do. And you guys is giving the states back the law, and the law and the states is throwing it back like, oh no, like they don't want to hear it. So, I'm very compassionate about that. And I just want my voice to be heard. I just want people to begin to stand up and to be a voice and say, no more. No more will we allow the system to incarcerate men and women on wrongful conviction, or making them plead to something that they didn't do to give them a lesser sentence. So that's where I'm at with that. But that's not our subject today. We probably do touch on that. Um,
Yeah, you need to, because I got a lot to tell you about that subject.
well, come on in. Let's talk about it then. Let's talk. What you want to talk about? Let's talk. Me
I
and my
mean,
co-host Cornell, we'll touch on game. Let's talk. Me and you, let's go ahead and talk. What you want to talk about?
if you want to talk about the biggest gangs in America or the biggest subject matter gangs, Let's talk about the DA department. Let's talk about the public defense attorneys. Let's talk about all that because when you have individuals that you say are wrongly convicted, and when you have a system that only goes on to the percentage of winning and losing, because it's really not about the law, because they subvert the law, they subvert your constitutional rights, and they don't tell you, they don't give you the information on how to be able to defend yourself in the venues of the court system. They tell you that ignorance is 9/10 of the law. But if you
Right.
don't know anything about the law and you don't know anything about how to interpret the law, you're going to be gobbled up by the law. They're gonna treat you like chowder. They're gonna treat you like feather. They're gonna grind you up and make fish bait out of you or make dog food out of you. That's what the system does for you. And when you have individuals who fighting their conviction, like I've been fighting for 15 years on mine, on been giving me an attorney who wasn't even part of the attorney process to be selected to be my attorney. I had a lawyer that gave me this. Well, the lawyer that I had was assigned to me. Name was Alberto M. Gutierrez Jr. He was assigned to me to represent me. He told me that if I chose to plea bargain, that he could give me 25 years. That was a consideration that I wanted to do. However, this other attorney came after I signed an agreement with Mr. Alberto Gutierrez to defend me. This other attorney came to see me, Charles J. Bunk, and this attorney told me that after I told him that I had a lawyer already representing me, he told me that I was not going to see that lawyer again. That he's $100,000 lawyer that I'm getting for free. That the other attorney couldn't do for me what he could do for me in the courtroom. That the two prosecutors prosecuting my case, that he taught them their job. That that they were personal friends of his, and the judge was a personal friend of his as well. What happened? I've never seen my attorney again, Mr. Alberto Gutierrez. There was supposed to be a withdrawal and a substitution of motion done in order for this lawyer to be able to represent me. They
Right.
bypassed all the rules and regulations and policies that govern in the courts as far as the indigent defense, public defense attorney process on how they select and supposed to be representative of individuals. So they bypassed the law and they gave me this lawyer who, once he started representing me, he never followed any of the procedures. He never investigated my case. I had a case where I tried to do suicide by a cop after I shot my stepson and his friend, who were gang members.
Okay.
They were they were
Let me jump in right quick. Because you said something that I wanted. You said you never seen your lawyer again.
never seen him again. Never heard from him. And still to this day, he's still attached to my case because he never signed a withdrawal to be replaced. He never did nothing to be replaced for my case. This other lawyer just took over my case, and that's a violation of the ethics of the attorney-client privilege. Once I told him I had an attorney, he was not supposed to talk to me.
So where did the second attorney come from? Did it come from the courts, or was you paying for both
No,
attorneys?
he was he was assigned to me by the court. The judge assigned him to represent me. But this is the crazy part, Miss Shanette. I went into the courtroom to be able to get to an attorney. I told him that I filed a motion that I put together that I needed an defense attorney. So when I was in the courtroom, because it called me out after hours, the court hours. The court hours like 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into the courtroom about 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, the court's supposed to be closed at 5 o'clock, but I'm in there. They have the DA, this other attorney, and the judge. So this attorney, I didn't recognize him at first. So they telling me, I'm listening to them talk. They talking about that that they was going to start me off with 40 years. And this other lady was telling her that they can't do that, that my prior cases were too old. They were 24 years old and they couldn't use them. And she said she still was going to use it. Then she called this lawyer. Hey, Charles, come here. Now, Charles Bump is the lawyer that the judge gave me after they had gave me this other lawyer. But he was in there soliciting them advice on how to fight my case when she started telling them what she was going to do. He specifically told her that's exactly what I would do, but I would also do this, and then he was whispering something else to her, telling her what she should do on fighting my case. But I didn't recognize, you got to realize at this particular time that I should have been psychologically evaluated because I was still dealing with the traumatic event of having to shoot my stepson. So this whole thing, my mind was not there. I was under psychological evaluation from the county jail. They was giving me anxiety medicine in order to cope with the incident itself from what had happened. But I was never psychologically evaluated for another incident. But I recognized this lawyer from the blazer that he wore during my sentencing hearing. And then when I asked him, I said, hey, you gave him advice on how to fight my case. He said, I'm allowed to do that. I said, no, that's a conflict of interest. How can you give them advice on how to fight my case and then be representing me? And he talked about he could do it, but I was so dumbfounded, and I was not my full self. I didn't become
So
my full self. And
I just want to jump in because you and I know probably everybody want to know as well. The judge allowed them, even though he wasn't working on your case, the judge allowed him to give him advice about your case.
at that time there, he was not affiliated, associated with my case, and he was giving the DA department advice on how they should go proceed on prosecuting my case.
Well,
Now,
okay. So wait a minute. Now you don't. Now I'm confused. So the lawyer, you said what was his name? Charles.
Charles Bunk,
He was helping.
I got all the paperwork.
He was helping the DA. He was giving him advice, and
Yes.
your current lawyer.
No, I didn't have a lawyer at the time. I didn't get a lawyer until probably about a week or two later. After I went into the courtroom to ask him for a lawyer, a week later I got a lawyer. That was like on the 13th of January 2010. The 21st, they gave me a lawyer. 21st, the 22nd of January, I got a lawyer. He came to visit me in the county jail. I signed a contract with him. His name is Alberto Gutierrez. This other lawyer came a couple of days later after I talked to his lawyer. His lawyer told me he can get me 25 years if I plea bargain. I never seen that lawyer again. But when I had this lawyer, Charles Bump, he used the state files, state evidence, and the state witnesses to fight my case. He never got me psychologically evaluated, which he should have done under the situation that had happened. He never investigated my case. He also allowed witnesses to be sworn in without giving me expert witness to defend me. What he told me was when I asked him about getting an expert, because they swore in a SWAT officer to be an expert witness on ballistics. He's not a ballistic expert, he's a SWAT officer. That's what it's sharp title. But he was sworn in as an expert witness against me. The SWAT officer was shot by me.
Okay.
I didn't know he was in behind me. Yeah, this is one of the things that happened. And when they had the same officer who was a witness for the state against me, he sworn in against me, and I asked him about getting me an expert witness. He didn't want to. He said that I have money. He said, "You have money? Do you have $25,000 for an expert witness?" I said, "No." He said, "The state doesn't need it." And that's just one of the things he said.
Okay, I want to jump in because you don't bring in the that you shot a SWAT officer and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
do you feel comfortable in taking us to the beginning to how we got to court, or do you just want to stay with what's into the proceedings? You know,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna take you through it because I'm not. I'm not afraid to say anything about that because I accept responsibility what happened with me and everything. That's point of forgiveness. That's point of healing. My healing that I had to go through. That I have to be accountable. I have to be responsible for what I've done. And it wasn't intentional. What had happened was the officer was hiding across the street in a bush. I didn't know he was in this bush. At this particular time, there was officers to the left and the right in front of my house, in front of my truck. I'm in the window. I'm trying to do suicide by cop. I shoot out the window, and in this bush, hiding in this bush, was an officer. I shot in a downward motion. I shot with a shotgun, and two of the pellets from the shotgun hit the officer in the shin. He said he pulled him out. He said he felt it, but he pulled him out. I didn't know he was inside of the bush hiding. What he said he was doing, he was trying to get a clear shot to be able to shoot me. And that's what I was basically trying to do anyway. But I had no idea that he was hiding in the bush at that particular time. After the incident, my stepson, this I was, my stepson was in front of my house. His best friend was in my driveway. My stepson was saying that he was going to shoot me, he was going to kill me. As he was pointing a gun at me, his friend ran up the driveway and tried to pull out his gun because he was pulling out in front of the driveway. In my mind, I knew that I had to protect myself. My mind was telling me to kill him because I took self-defense classes on shooting guns, but I didn't want to do that because I knew this guy's family. So I shot him in his hand and his arm with a shotgun. I had a shotgun. I shot him in his hand trying to shoot the gun to keep it down. Because I know if I shoot him first, because he's more active in the game than my stepson. My stepson, he's friends with him, so they feel like that, okay, you can be down with us. And he's never done anything to be a part affiliated in a gang like that. He was in college, but these guys are some guys he grew up with that he was affiliated with that are active gang members. So when my stepson seen me shoot him, my thing was I said I'm gonna shoot him in the hand because I had it in my mind what I was gonna do if I had to do this. Shoot the first guy first because I knew that he was more dangerous than my stepson because I knew if I shoot him, that my stepson was gonna freeze. My stepson froze just like I thought he was, and I shot him in the arm to try to knock the gun out. So he take off running across the street. My neighbor, whom is an MP police officer, seen the whole incident. He heard the whole incident. I got statements from him and everything. He said that he heard my stepson said that he was going to shoot me, he was going to kill me, and then he seen the little short guy run up at me, and he seen him go down. I shot him first, then he seen me shoot my stepson. So I went in the house distraught, and I started drinking, trying to calm myself. But I said that I had already decided that I said I'm gonna go ahead and do suicide by cop because I can't live like this. I don't want to live with this in my mind.
let
And
me
I feel like that I let everybody down.
I'm gonna intervene once again. Wow.
Yeah,
That was a lot. Um wow, that's all I can say is wow.
yeah.
Your you and your stepson relationship, how was it before this? Because you said that he was in college, and then he just hooked up with the wrong crowd. From what um I was listening to, it's just like maybe did he want to feel like he wanted to fit in, or what, why he started hanging out with these guys um first? I just want to know, how was your relationship first?
I mean, I loved him. I mean, I treat him like he was my son. I really did, and it bugged me. It bugged me to hear him holler. It bugged me, just to have to even do that. That it left me in the traumatized state. Uh,
and I
because
and I can
I remember everything that we talk about, uh, and it's man, it was crazy.
I
It was
can
crazy.
hear it in I can hear it in your voice as well. You know, wow. And then you said that, I it just like seeing you said seeing your stepson and his friend out there crying, that it did something to you, so you just felt like you just wanted to end it. Did you didn't think about shooting
When I heard him
yourself,
holler,
you just wanted the police to
so once once that incident happened outside, I came inside. I looked at because it all started with my now ex-wife. Uh, I found out that she was cheating on me because the guy called me on my job, telling me that this is the guy that she was messing with her first husband, telling me that he still loves her, that he still gonna mess with me, ain't nothing I can do about it. And he put sugar in my gas tank, messed my truck up, like doing something. He's like a guy that wanted to be with my wife. I love my wife, and when I found out she cheated on me, this guy called me on my job while I was at work, telling me this stuff. I was upset. Me and my wife had an argument about it at home. And then when we had the argument about it, she pulled a knife on me. I took martial arts trained, box. Her pulling a knife on me, I was not threatened about it. I was able to take it from her. When I took it from her, she was telling me that she'll call him and set him up, that I can kill him if I want to. I said, no, I don't want to kill him. I don't want to do nothing like that. While me and her arguing, my stepdaughter here is arguing, called her brother, come over there with three of his friends. While we was in the house, we get into an argument. They grabbed my pool stick off my pool table, and I knocked him. I knocked two of them back because, like I said, I took taekwondo and I boxed. I boxed growing up, and I took taekwondo. So I was able to get out the house. I ran out the house because my bedroom door was locked. I threw a rock through my bedroom door, jumped through my window, grabbed my shotgun, and came outside. My wife ran, my stepson and his friend, they were saying that they was gonna kill me and stuff in the house. I was like, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna shoot nobody. You ain't gonna do nothing. Because I wasn't scared of him. I ain't doing that because I didn't think he would do anything like that. So I said, man, you ain't finna shoot nothing. You ain't finna do nothing, Monty. Put that gun down. And then like, I'm gonna kill you on everything. I'm like, you ain't finna kill nothing. And I walked away from him, turned my back to him as he had a gun. But I wasn't scared of him. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like that he was gonna shoot me. So I went out seeing my wife ran out the back door. She ran through the gate. So I locked the back door. I come back through. I walked outside. My stepson was in my neighbor's front yard. His friend was in our driveway, and that incident happened as I told you. So when I came back inside, I just decided, I said, well, I started drinking. I popped a bottle of Cavazier, a liter bottle, started drinking it. Jose Cuervo, drank that. Some Spirit on vodka, drank that. I took 4 Vicodins, popped 4 Vicodins, and I decided I was going to let the police shoot me. I was going to numb myself so that I felt like that I wasn't going to be able to feel it, and I decided to do suicide by cop. That was my intention, but during that incident and how it happened, because the officer said that they was trying to get in a tactical position to be able to shoot me. I had no idea they was out there because I got a less included offense on the officer that got shot by me. I got deadly conduct with a firearm, which deadly conduct with a firearm is only 2 to 10 years. But because when I was in my youth doing stupid stuff, I've been to prison twice. They enhanced my case to a habitual being offender. So I got more time for it. I went to trial on 7 offenses at that time. And I went to a jury trial. The jury trial found me guilty for a lesser included offense. Not no first degree offense, but a lesser included offense. But because I've been to prison before, they said they gave me 50 years. And my cases were 24 years old. I changed my life. I had a good job working at the San Antonio International Airport. I worked for AirTran. I worked for Delta Airlines. I had my passport. I traveled. I go get my son in North Carolina. Every summer, that's what I was doing. I didn't plan on ever coming back to prison again.
So you were just basically putting your life back in order, living your life the way that you were supposed to live it till you got that call from the other man.
From the other man. It's all and I guess people feel like that a man isn't supposed to have emotions or supposed to be able to separate his ties like that. I love my wife. That's all they was. I loved her. I wanted to try to make our marriage work, but I knew she was cheating on me. I mean, what man wouldn't know? I knew she was doing the things she was doing, but I tried to.
You have 1 minute left.
I tried to do things accordingly to what the Bible said, trying to save my marriage.
I understand that. Well, I just heard that we have 1 minute. So you know what, Casey? Yeah. You're gonna have to come back and talk to me again because this conversation is not over. And I know when it is definitely not over because I know that the listening audience, some of them gonna have questions and they gonna ask me, to ask you questions. So you definitely gonna have to come back because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
I'll be waiting on Cornel to call me back. But thank you once again. I'm gonna reach out to you again probably later on this week.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. And like I said, my life is open book. I'm a changed man. I'm a God man. And
thank you for using.
Thank you, Shanette.
You're welcome.
In November and December 1865, shortly after the end of the Civil War, Southern states sought to control their large populations of newly freed black people. Laws were passed authorizing the arrest and jailing of blacks. These laws became known as black codes. They typically applied only to blacks and criminalized acts that were not offenses when committed by whites. On November 24th, 1865, Mississippi passed a black code declaring that all freedmen, free Negroes, and mulattoes found without proof of employment or found unlawfully assembling themselves would owe up to $50 in fines and serve up to 10 days in jail. As a result of black codes, the post-Civil War era brought American black citizens more contact with the criminal courts and prison systems than ever before. As the former Confederacy learned to use the criminal justice system as a tool of racial control, countless black men, women, and children were convicted and sentenced under unjust laws that criminalized them for existing as free black citizens.
Hello, I am Shanette Johnson. I am honored to be among the 100 authors on the rise. I had the privilege of co-authoring in Seeds of Immortality, Footprints in the Sand of Time, and Eternal Echo. Currently, I am working on my first anthology entitled From Grief to Glory in honor of my son who transitioned on last year. I'm looking for co-authors who have walked a similar path. If you have experienced the loss of a loved one, I invite you to come share your story. Please feel free to contact me at AuthorShanetteJohnson@gmail.com, or you can Connect with me on Facebook at Shanette Johnson. I look forward to connecting with you. Hello, I am Shanette Johnson. I am honored to be among. I am honored to be. Well, hello, and thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. I was just sitting here waiting on Cornel to call me back, but he haven't called back. And I was going to talk to you guys about what I'm going to do, what's ahead for me in 2025. Um, Angela just played I Am part of, this is Cornel calling. I am among 99 authors that's on a rise. And it's a privilege because I didn't know that I had that in me until my son transitioned and I began to write. So I want to say this real quick.
This free call, press 2. Thank you for using
That
Securus.
in 2025, there's no excuses. No excuses for me. I'm going to bring out my full purpose. I'm going to walk in my purpose, my destiny that God has outlined for me. And Angela and the ladies from the Crew podcast, each one of them is pulling it out of me. I watched them, and they don't know how much I love them, and I thank you ladies for being there, even though some of them I haven't met some of them personally, just seeing them on the screen and talking to them through that way. But I just want to say, you guys hold on, because I'm telling you, 2025, I am not giving no excuses. I'm getting ready to use my voice. You guys finna to see a new person. Just watch and believe. The anxiety, I'm gonna get over the anxiety, and just watch. Just sit back. I mean, you think I'm 54, you think them chapters was something? Wait till you see these chapters that's coming. Oh, I'm supposed to blow your mind. You watch. But I have my co-host on with me. Hey, Cornel.
Hello, ma'am. How you doing?
Oh, you laughing
I see you
at
kind of
me?
fired up.
You
No,
laughing?
ma'am. I'm laughing because I see how you fired up tonight, huh? You telling them what to expect from you for 2025. Well, guess what? I can say this here, man. One thing about you, man, you are a very compassionate, strong advocate, and outspoken person who, guess what, we're going to enjoy in 2025. Because we enjoy you now in 2024. So nothing wrong with you, man. You're gonna be all right, okay?
Yes, I'm just so excited for 2025. To be among 99 authors that I never thought. I have written in 3 anthologies, and I'm getting ready to write my first anthology with the help of Angela.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
But then we're doing some new things, but we're gonna talk about that later. But we finna get back into our subject. KC just blew me away, brother. KC just really just blew me out the box.
Okay, well, thanks y'all for having me on tonight's show. My name is Cornel. I'm a Texas prison inmate 34 years and an advocate for criminal justice reform and the founder of the Free Texas Campaign. Tonight I am the co-host of tonight's show. Let's talk about it. And tonight we're talking about gang violence in America and what it stands for and how can we educate our kids not to get involved in gangs. With this in mind, and because this is a very dramatic and touchy subject, you know what I'm saying, about how our kids have been brainwashed and get involved in these gangs, tonight's show is basically about, education, about community, about advocacy, about, encouraging our government to do better, by our kids, by these programs, and, to try to help our kids, to try to prevent them from, getting involved in gangs. Because I can say that for the past 3 to 4 decades, we have witnessed the turmoil that gang violence has caused. Innocent kids and people are getting killed. People are killing themselves by gang violence through drive-by shootings and just killing themselves just because of a color, or just killing themselves because of being manipulated by rap music, or the encouragement of bling bling, a car, or something to that nature. But what we're really talking about is how do we allow our kids to get involved in these drugs and these gangs and drugs and stuff like this. So really, tonight's show is basically about gangs in America, where it comes from, how to get started, and how do we educate our kids not to get involved. So if there's anyone who have an opinion, or if anyone have anything that they want to share about, gangs and about gang violence, about, how their kids became a part of gang violence, and ask questions about what can we do as family members, as mothers and fathers, and not only that, but gang members and influencers to keep our kids not to get involved with gangs. So tonight's show is basically about gangs in America. So, Mrs. Shanette, do you have anything that you would like to add to that?
Well, I just believe that a lot of parents, well, I'm going to speak for myself. A lot of us do love our children, and we are there, and we give more than we should give to our children. And some of them just want a little more. You have single mothers that just doing the best that they can. You have a household that's doing the best that they can, but you also have a child that has their own mind. You can tell them that, hey, this is how this is going to run. But then once they go outside of your home, outside of the home, when you're not around, then they are a different person. So how can I put this? Like with Kyle, I'm gonna take my son, because with him, I kept my son sheltered for that reason, because I didn't want him to get affiliated into the gangs. I wanted more from him. So I kept him in the yard. I kept really like a really strict leash on him. But as he got older, then it seemed like, and I'm working more and doing more, so my focus was not on him like it was when he was coming up, but it was on making sure that I'm able to pay my bills and stuff. So he did begin to slip out of my hands. And once he did, he knew how far to go with me. He wouldn't, but he would stop once he got to the edge.
Okay. So, can I ask you, do you feel that an environment, a negative environment, or do you feel that, guys who are out there in the neighborhood or in the projects or in the community, and the rap music and the drugs, the bling bling cars and stuff, do you think that the media played a role in kids today or kids then, getting involved with gangs?
The media, no, not so much. I just think it's probably some of them like in the environment of what they see.
Okay.
That's what I think. The music, yeah, it's different from when we was coming up because you didn't have so much of the violence in it, that we hear now. You didn't have so much of the degrading of the women, especially to
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
It was to me is more like the black women. The
Okay.
degrading. You don't.
Okay.
When we was coming up, you didn't have a lot of the flashiness. They probably did, but from I didn't see it like they have it now.
Okay.
So mainly when we was coming up, we had programs that we was able to participate in. Right
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
these kids
Okay.
they don't have the program. They always saying there's lack of funding. Well, where's the funding at? If the lottery and all of this other stuff, where's the funding to save our children?
Okay. Okay. So with that being said, are you indicating that your community can do better? When the government is saying that they don't have the funds to provide these types of services, would you say that your community, churches and community advocates and stuff, and fathers and mothers can do better by their kids by trying to, encourage them to participate in positive programs?
Yeah, I believe so. I can only speak for myself. I know I would encourage my kids. I would tell them, hey, you can compete with the best. Don't never downplay what you can't do, even though I feel it's a different when it for me, but what I put into my kids, I gave them, I pushed them, you know, um Kyle, when he got into high school, he used to ditch, so I'm driving school buses, and I was like, I made sure I drove that bus by that school every day. And every time I seen Kyle, I know him. Every time I seen him, I would call the school. I would call the school and I would tell them, hey, you got a group of kids over here at the liquor store or something. Kai, I seen him on the bus stop one day, boy, and I pulled up and I opened the door. I said, where are you going? You need to get on back over there to school. So the more I made my presence known, his little so-called friends that he was hanging out with, they separated away from him because they knew, hey, your mama gonna call the school, she gonna do this. Yeah, I was doing everything because I wanted the best for my child. And I know there's other parents out there that in the community, they want that's all we want as African American parents and Hispanic parents, and we just want the best for our children. But the
Okay.
programs are not there. They are taking more money from us, from out of the community, and they're putting them in the prison systems to put our
Okay.
kids in there.
Okay. So as a parent now, experiencing, the loss of life of a child or, mothers, losing their kids to prison life and stuff like that. As a parent now, in your opinion, what do you think if you had a message to give to the government? What would you say to the government?
Repeat that. Repeat that question again.
Okay, being a mother, to have lost a child to gang violence or, because, uh, what would you tell the government, or if you had a message, what would you say to the government for the loss of funds to provide programs and, better education, schools or teachers or whatever for the kids to try to encourage them to do better? What would you say if you had a message?
Well, I didn't. I didn't lose a child to gang violence. My
Okay.
son he had a heart condition, congestive heart failure,
Okay.
and he passed in his sleep.
Okay.
So I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
know that pain of losing a child to gang violence.
Okay.
But I stand in solidarity with them women because and fathers, because I had aunties that lost sons, so I know it as a losing family members. I know it that way.
Okay.
But I would tell them that if they want to see a change in our community, give us back. Start don't we work so hard. Number one. Number two, our black men have a target on their backs, whether it's from the black men, black on black crime, Hispanic, whites. No, it's like all nationality is. You got the daggers. They got the daggers in their back. We need more funding for education. We need to educate our children. We need to help. We need to be there for our children. We need. I mean, they said that a household, a mother and a father needs to be together. A strong mother. I don't see some strong women raise some good men, and I don't seen some strong men raise some strong men. So it's all about I you know it's just I'm trying to find my words because I want to say it right, because I grew up in Compton, but I wasn't we wasn't allowed to run in the play in the streets. Or we was home to school, school to whatever practice that we was going to be doing, and to church. That was our program. That was our programming system. So I and we also participate in it. The LA sheriff had a program during the summer for summer employment. They need to bring back summer employments, because as we see it now, that the fast food pro jobs are going to not the children, not the young adults. I'm gonna put it like that. It's not going to them, which I believe that fast food should be where they have at least a jump start of earning money. Because if they're not earning money, if they're not making money the legal way, then they gonna go and start getting it the illegal way, and then they're gonna find themselves in prison. So we got to look at the jobs. We got to look at education. We got to look at communication. The parents, as parents, we need to communicate with our children. We need to communicate with the teachers to to see what's going on. It shouldn't be a break nowhere. We shouldn't break that change should not be broken. We should just be like communication. It's just so much I'm trying to get it together. But
Okay. Well, ma'am, you have spoken and you are saying it exactly the same way, in my opinion, ma'am. Okay, we do need more government community services, ma'am. programs, man, they would be able to want to learn. Once you show a child, what I'm saying, the right way of life, a child participate in the right way of life. But once a child get outside of the household, and it's not the mother's fault. Because you have, like you say, great mothers raising their kids to become great sons. But once a child is caught up into the negative environment of participating with a child who's involved in games, then kids become a part of that. They like that. They embrace that negativity because the mother's not there to encourage them not to do, not to get involved with it, because, and if you do have mothers that's doing it, they can't follow their kids to where they go. So
Right.
the kids are going to become products of an environment, man, that's negative. But we do need more input from fathers. We need
Right.
input from family members. We need input from the government. We need input from advocates, churches. We need input from everybody to be able to encourage these kids not to get involved into these negative aspects. Me, an example, man. I grew up in a poverty neighborhood. And all my life, man, I have been around nothing but negativity. And even though I find myself not being a bad guy, it's just the choices that I made because of the fact that I grew up in a negative environment. But it's not the environment to blame. It's my choices to blame. Because I could have made positive choices had I been taught the right way to make those positive choices, man. And I had somebody to be down to encourage me to go to school, to do something, to learn more, to get a job. I wouldn't be in prison today, man.
So
because I don't find myself being a bad guy.
Right. So let me read what Black Diamond had to say. And this is so true. Back in school we had economic, we had wood shop, we had auto mechanics, we had they had the nursing program. They had so like life skills training in schools where you don't find that no more.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't find
Yes,
the cooking and sewing class because I had sewing classes and I had sewing class and I made my prom dress. Don't be laughing.
Yes,
It was I had my prom dress
no,
was
man,
nice too.
I like that. I like the idea that you made your own dress, so that made you proud of yourself. So this is basically what we're trying to say. Through incentives, through programs and stuff like what you're speaking about, here it is. Kids will be more encouraged to be able to do right by themselves, to learn what their abilities are, their potentials, to help them find their way in life. Because if we don't work, we don't eat. If we don't eat, you know what, man? We're always out there trying to find some kind of way to survive.
Exactly.
With that being said, man, we'll make the wrong decisions and our kids will end up in a prison system.
Yeah.
Or dead.
Yeah.
And now our prison systems is a multi-trillion-dollar enterprise daily. So this is why a lot of the programs that you're speaking about have been taken out of our community. Why? Because now they have found a better way to make the money off of our kids and our neighborhoods and our society, by only just locking them up and throwing away the key now. Yeah. You're giving kids a life sentence, and they got to do 40 years. 40 years is a whole lifetime, man. So if this is the case, man, all I'm saying, Lam, is that you're right. We do need more government funding, more community input, man, more family input, man, and whatever else that we can get to, encourage our kids not to get caught up in games, man.
But also,
because we've lost a lot of life.
Also, Cornel, I noticed nowadays when we was coming up, we knew not to act up because it was always a neighbor or something looking and they would tell on you. Nowadays, you will hear, you better not say nothing to my child. What did you say? They get so defensive when you say something. So you can't, we need to be able to listen when our child is wrong. Listen, if someone is correcting them, don't be so quick to, want to fight, because I see that when I drove school buses and stuff, you try to at least try to get a kid back on track, and then the parent is all up in your face, and then now you looking like, yeah. So that's why the kid acting like that, because they see the mama acting like that. So you or the father acting like that, it's a learned behavior. So we shouldn't, as parents, we should be able to, if I see your child um set Miss Rodriguez hair on fire, because that did happen when I was driving for Metro public transportation. I was driving the Vermont line, and some students on that bus set this elderly Hispanic lady hair on fire, and they laughed.
Okay.
And that little lady was so terrified. I was terrified too. But stuff like that, when you see stuff like that, you should be able to tell the child, hey, do you know that could have went all bad? She could have had some kind of hairspray in her hair and just went up like a little Roman candle. But they didn't see it like that,
Okay. Okay, so this is the point to be made, man. Our kids are not taking this stuff seriously, man. They're not taking the idea of staying away seriously, man. They embracing the negativity of the gang violence, man. They embracing the negativity, man, of the rap music, the negativity of the culture, of wearing their pants below their butt. The negativity of these shoes and stuff like that. They are embracing that. Walking around with a gun in their pocket, man. Kids 15 years old. Our death penalty now, man, has risen now to a higher percent of having kids on death row, man. Kids. Start from age 15 on up.
Well, they say that the age that they enter gangs is at 12 years old. That's what the statistics is saying. Black Diamond just said, Black Diamond said the streets are giving our kids life skills, but not the kind of skills we want them to have.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And that's a good point to be made. So now what do we do as parents, man? Do we get more involved into our kids' life? Because I know a mother or a father or a brother or a sister would see that their sibling is participating in games because of the way he's dressing, or the way he's acting, or the way he's hanging out with the wrong crowd. So therefore, we as people, we have to start showing more tough love on our kids. We have to go and get him and put him to the side and show him some tough love. Not only that, we have to participate in his life and show him better. And show him that it's a better way. Take him to a movie or something. Take him to the park. Play baseball with him. Show him that there's got to be a better way than the choices that he's making to hang out with the wrong crowd.
But
that's the point that we have. That's what we're trying to get across.
And what you just talked about. Oh, we got 2 minutes, and 2 minutes.
Man.
We better wrap this up.
Man.
What you just talked about. I did all of that with my children, but we got to remember our children have a mind of their own, and once their minds is set, their minds are set. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you go ahead and close us out, because we got 2 minutes and I don't want to keep talking.
Okay. Well, for anyone who's listening to this podcast tonight, we encourage you. Let's talk about it. We encourage you to come out, to be able to join, and to be able to get involved into your kids' lives. Be able to teach them and show them that gang violence is a serious thing. Prison life is a serious thing. And that for them to be able to, get their education, go to school, participate in programs. We ask that y'all come out and petition our government, our state representatives and legislators, to be able to provide the funds we need to be able to give these kids better programs in order for them to be able to, stay away from these types of environments, this gang activity and guns and stuff like that. We had a serious shooting today of a school shooting right now. We send our condolences to the families of the kids who lost their lives in today's shooting. But we encourage the people to come out, get involved, and demand that your government do better by your kids. Thank you very much for having me on the show tonight. And my name is Cornel.
And on that note, we want to say have a blessed week a blessed week, and we'll see you guys for our bonus show next Monday. Good night.